There's been breaking news over the past 45 minutes or so that the body of a teenager has been found while searching for Jay Slater over in Tennerife. Now, it is currently unknown whether this is Jay Slater that's yet to be determined through DNA testing, but there are a lot of questions being asked of the Tennerife police regarding this situation. But in case you have not heard about it, here is a news broadcast that is coming through. Basically, it is the latest thing that we know thus far. Here we go.
Charlie, what do we know?
Well, the civil guard, the gendarmerie of Tenerife, that's been taking the lead in this investigation since it started 4 weeks ago today, have said now in a statement delivered via Reuters that they have found a lifeless body of a young man in the Masca area. Now, Masca is the village where Jay Slater is reported to have travelled to on June the 16th, the Sunday evening before he went missing after that NRG festival in the south of the island. They said that all indications indicate that it could be the young British man who went missing for 29 days. So no official confirmation on the identity of this body that they have found.
Now, that is what's being stressed so far, is that there is no official confirmation regarding this. Oh, hi Jasmine, how are you? Welcome in. So there's no official confirmation that this is in fact Jay Slater, but a teen's body has been found.
Found in the northwest area of Tenerife, in the Rural de Teno National Park, where of course the significant search operation was launched almost 4 weeks ago, because the day after the missing persons report was made, we did see those search and rescue teams deployed. Now, that original search and rescue operation lasted for 2 weeks. Now, on Saturday, the 29th of June, they had that significant final push operation, as it was termed, that call for volunteers. But since then, there has been no official searching.
So welcome in to everyone that is joining the chat right now. Hello Tracy, hello Dr. Ziggy, hello Jasmine. So as we know it right now, as of 45 minutes ago, there was a body found of a teen. We can't confirm that it is Jay Slater yet because there is no DNA testing that's been done. There's no confirmation from the family. But this is absolutely huge for the search. Hello Sherry.
The investigation continued, but they canned their main specialist mountaineering operation effort in the northwest of the island. They said that they were keeping their eyes and ears open to other leads involved. So this is the first significant update since that period 2 weeks ago when they pulled off the official search.
Charlie, when this story first broke, it was shocking, and
Cookie has made a fantastic point here. Whether or not it is Jay, it's sad thing that someone has died. I completely agree. And the thing is if this is not Jay, okay, and as people are speculating, or whether it's believed to be or not, the question has to be asked of, well, what happened to this person? Why is it that this person was found so close to Jay's phone, which of course was where Jay's phone was found? And also, questions have to be asked of the Tennerife police. How has it taken the Tennerife police almost 29 days to not find anything, and then this Dutch team comes in for 2 days and they managed to find something within 48 hours? It's pretty mind-boggling when you think of it that way.
Covered it day after day after day. There were teams out scouring that very rocky, mountainous landscape. And then the teams seemed to suggest that they lowered the intensity of the search in the countryside and perhaps suggested, at least, they were looking at other leads in the towns, in the urban conurbations of the island. But perhaps they were on the right track in the first place.
Yeah, and the suggestion that was being made at the time as to why they had pulled off that search is because they had done everything possible in the area. Now, unlike what you might have found during British search and rescue operations for missing persons, the civil guard in Tenerife were very limited in their press updates. They never held a press conference. Information we got was through snippets gathered by journalists on the ground, and also just purely from watching them in their actions.
Now, Charlie, we're just hearing reports that the Spanish police are saying that Jay Slater could have suffered an accident or a fall.
Now, this is the next thing that's going to hopefully come from a potential autopsy off the back of this is, well, a determination of what actually happened. As of right now, of course, we've got no confirmation about what took place, what happened, and all the rest of it. But we might get some understanding as to whether this was foul play, as to whether this was truly an accident, like the Tenerife police led us to believe for a little while. Hopefully we'll find out, just details on the entire situation, on whether, just what's at play here. Because as of right now, we are pretty in the lurch. So let's hope for the best.
Know 100% whether these human remains belong to Jay Slater, the missing teenager. The police saying all indications point to the fact that it is, but we await that confirmation. Presumably they'll have to do a DNA test.
Yeah, that'll be the next stage to determine the identity of the remains they found. And referring to that fall or the potential of an accident taking place leading to the recovery of these remains, in the statement they do refer to an inaccessible area. And Tom, that points back to the terrain that you raised. So many of the operations that we saw at the start of the search were with drones, not with people, because a lot of the terrain they were seeking to cover, the ground they wanted to investigate, was inaccessible by foot. And it is a rocky area. It's not like some of the search operations we saw 2 months ago in Simi, on that Greek island near the coast of Turkey, which was, more undulating. This is significantly more treacherous terrain, and going off the path, as he reportedly did, Jay Slater, according to friends who took phone calls from him, as indeed the location on his phone seemed to indicate, did bring a significant degree of danger. So we did see those specialist teams brought in, not only from the island, but also from Madrid. They got reinforced in the second week of the search from specialist groups, drones, helicopters, and sniffer dogs. And we also saw them moving into the valley in that second week of the search, into potential caves and any other area where those remains could have been located today.
Well, we're looking at some of the terrain on our screens now of the search as it was a couple of weeks ago. We can see the fairly arid nature of the land. There have been rocks and caves and steep angles and sharp drops as well. So the case of, if this was indeed a teenager trying to get home from a party, walked the wrong way, went off the road, slipped and fell or tipped off the edge of a steep ledge, that would seem to make a lot of sense.
It would. We'll wait, of course, for the DNA confirmation and further information from the Civil Guard, but all the indications from the original reports from Jay's friends, we heard regularly from a young woman called Lucy about the penultimate phone call he made at the time. Another friend came forward saying that he heard him slipping on rocks. That also supports this theory that he'd gone off the main path there.
Right, let's have a little look at what the chat's saying. So, in my opinion, no matter what he has or hasn't done, he is still a person, he has a family, and that will be worried. I completely agree. At the end of the day, of course, there was a lot of talk about what he's done. It doesn't ultimately matter. That this is still a human being that we're talking about here. I don't think that they would even utter his name if they didn't have a reasonable reason to think that it's him. I completely agree. I don't think that if they had no idea or they were speculating, this case is far too big for them to not talk about it. Let's put it that way. I think if you say body found in Tenerife, instantly everyone's mind goes to Jay Slater at the moment. I ignored all the speculation and just listened to proper news. Yeah, that's what I've tried to do. It's obviously very difficult. Who has found the body? Spanish police or the private Dutch team? I believe it was the private Dutch team. So the Spanish police, of course, gave up their search after 2 weeks. And this Dutch team came in 48 hours ago and they've come up with something. So obviously they're a very reputable source to have found Jay. Because they are very experienced. They're a non-profit organisation, which obviously is exactly what you want in a search like this. DNA will take around 2 weeks. Maybe they might get, when they get the families in to identify the bodies, they might do something like that with the family that are in Tenerife as we speak. There's always the chance that animals have gotten to the corpse too. Yes, this could end up damaging the integrity, of course, of of the findings, but let's hope that, you know, the family can finally get closure from this, because ultimately that's what they're going to be holding out for, isn't it?
But it was an 11-hour walk that he was attempting to make, reportedly, according to reports of those original phone calls, from the northwest back to the south, where his accommodation was. 1% battery on his phone. But there was also reports of a cut on his leg from the local was it a cactus that he had come into contact with. So really treacherous situation that he was in at the time.
Now, this development, it was only a few hours ago, actually, that his mother gave a statement addressing some of the, I guess, the nastier conspiracy theories.
She said they were vile conspiracy theories.
Yeah, to then have her make that statement and then for this news to come out.
Yeah, it must have been an appalling time for the family, who've remained on the island, supported by online funded efforts to maintain their accommodation and also just food. I mean, the cost of living on a holiday island in the peak of summer is not easy. And also they had supported a new search team, a Dutch organisation. They reportedly already had 4 or 5 people deployed on the ground with their sniffer dogs, decades of experience from this not-for-profit specialist search group. Another person was due out to fly today, but obviously don't know if they are involved in this new update from the Civil Guard, who had reportedly called off their on-the-ground search effort after that major 2-week push. So Debbie Duncan, Jay's mother, saying yesterday that vile conspiracy theories were impossible to avoid because they had just covered so much of the social media sleuthing and indeed much of the journalistic coverage of the search and rescue operation.
So, looking down at the comments section, Lyra said, I wonder if if he passes away from dehydration. I mean, that's obviously a plausible thing to think, of course. So, it's the latest that we've heard is that there was an injury on a cactus. So, whether that took place, he was then unable to move in this treacherous environment, and then, you know, he passed away from natural causes, being dehydration and, you know, malnourishment and stuff like this. It's difficult to know. Jasmine said they usually use dental records. Yes, they do, actually. Intriguing stuff. I really do hope that we can kind of get the latest. So I'm going to go on the Independent now, because the Independent has got a live running basically like article, which basically means that we are going to get the latest on all of this. So Jay Slater missing. Latest body found with teenager's clothes close to phone's last location in Tennerife. So let's have a look. Human remains have been found in the search for Jay Slater nearly a month after the British 19-year-old went missing in Tenerife. A body was found in the Masca area where he had disappeared. The Civil Guard said, as a charity supporting the family confirmed, that it was discovered close to the site of his mobile phone's last location in the west of the island. DNA tests will be carried out to establish the person's identity, along with an autopsy to uncover the cause of their death. The body was found with Mr. Slater's possessions and clothes, charity LBT Global said. Now, charity LBT is the source that is breaking all of this stuff and is basically reporting on behalf of the family. The 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer from Lancashire had been at an NRG music festival on the 16th of June before going to an Airbnb in the village of Masca with 2 men. He felt the following morning and appeared to start an 11-hour walk back to his apartment. He was last seen by a cafe owner who said that the teenager had asked about a bus times before deciding not to wait 2 hours for a service. She then saw him leave the village on foot, and his phone was the last detected in the rural Datino National Park. That's the latest so far. If people hadn't been so cruel about what Jay did years ago, more people would have turned up to search and they may have found him in time to save him. Possibly. Obviously, it's hard to speculate on what could have happened. It's also strange, nothing makes sense with the case. No, it absolutely doesn't. Every twist and turn. I mean, what was the name? William Matthew Thomas, the guy that's the private investigator for the case, has stated that, you know, he's got the reason now as to why Jay was so keen to leave the Airbnb. So it's actually, it's weird, and of course, you know, very interesting that this body is found. I mean, this article has just confirmed that it was found with Jay's clothing on. Whereabouts was that part? The Silver Guard said look, near his phone. The body was found with Mr. Slater's possessions and clothes. I mean, that's pretty much as close to confirmation as we can get right now, unless, of course, I mean, I don't want to speculate, so I'm not going to, in fact. Mark William Thomas, that's it. If he was found there, why only now? Well, this is exactly it. So questions should be asked of the Spanish police. I mean, if his body was found, and it is him, near the phone, surely someone should have found that sooner, considering the search parties that went out there, considering Jay's last known location with his phone. You know, it does really make you wonder whether what were the Tennerife police doing in that time, and you know, why wasn't something found sooner? I know there's a lot of conspiracies and speculation running around that this might not in fact be Jay's body. I didn't really get to read too much into it before going live, but I did see one that stated that this could be some kind of decoy to kind of get people off the trail for a little bit. Again, just speculation. It's impossible to know right now what's going on with the whole situation. But let's see if we can catch up with some more of the news regarding this. So 29 minutes ago from The Telegraph, there was a brand new article that stated that at 1:43 p.m, a body was found close to the site of the last mobile signal. At 1:39 p.m, Jay Slater's possessions and clothes found with the body. 1:38 p.m, post-mortem examination yet to take place. Oh, so this is where Jay Slater was last seen, Spanish police statement in full, etc, etc. They said the belongings was on the body. Yes, so clearly he was either wearing it or, you know, someone... I mean, what does on the body mean? Having the possessions on the body and the clothing on the body, does that mean that he was wearing them? Does that mean that, you know, someone just had a hold of them? Like, what's... There is a reason MWT isn't a real detective anymore. Ooh. Who found him? Hope it wasn't the family members if it was him. No, it was the Dutch search team that went in, I think it was 48 hours ago. So there was a Dutch, if you don't know, a Dutch search and rescue team basically went in, very well experienced, you know, very credited. They went into the area where he was last seen 48 hours ago, and today obviously have come up with these findings. Hello Haley, how are you? Yeah, so obviously speculation is running absolutely wild over on TikTok. It's just absolutely bonkers. So if we search Jay Slater body found, it's not adding up. No, not a lot of things are adding up right now. Right, let's have a little look at some things that people are talking about right now. So this was posted 39 minutes ago.
The body of Jay Slater has been found according to Spanish police.
It's not his body. We don't know that for certain yet because the DNA tests have not been done.
It's just been announced that a body has been found in the search for the missing teenager Jay Slater, who vanished in Tennerife while on holiday around a month ago. Now, the disappearance of Jay Slater has been the subject of much controversy online. Jay had apparently been involved in a vicious attack on another male some time ago. Lots of people online have been coming up with conspiracy theories about the teenager's disappearance. The 19-year-old from Lancashire was last seen alive on the 17th of June. Now, if you don't know of the case of Jay Slater, my friend True Crime Caitlin did a really good summary of the case so far. Please go over to her page and check that out if you haven't already seen it or if you're not familiar with the case. Jay was working as an apprentice bricklayer and had been on a lad's holiday when he went missing. The Spanish police are reportedly awaiting full formal identification. However, they state that they do believe that the body they found is that of Jay. They obviously cannot say for certain yet what the actual cause of death is. However, at this point, they are stating that they think it's likely he was killed accidentally from something like a fall. The body of Jay Slater has been found according to...
So that's kind of a brief rundown for anyone that's just jumping into the chat. Obviously, the comments are, it's been confirmed to be him, question mark, so that's stated as a question. Someone has said that it was him, as the belongings and clothes he were wearing are all there. And then, of course, people have said that it's sad. Is it actually confirmed to be him? It's not 100% confirmed because, of course, the DNA results have not come back yet. The family have not been to confirm the body. But this is obviously one of many videos, and it's going to be, well, it's just absolutely crazy. Hate to be conspiracy theorist, but I wonder if the body was always in that place. Seems strange that the body wasn't found sooner, given the location. Exactly. The body was found, for anyone that's new and hasn't heard about it. The body was found next to the phone, or the last known location of the phone, literally just west of the location. So it's interesting that it's taken this long for the body to be found, and it took an outside agency to come in from the Netherlands to actually find this body. They said, they didn't say body, they said human remains. I think that's important. I did find that interesting as well. Obviously, when it comes to things like this, terminology is very important. So, you know, to state it as human remains, that, to me, indicates, you know, just how I received that. If it's a body, it's fully intact. If it's remains, there's a level of decomposure there. There's a level of, you know, potentially animals have got to the body first. It's not to get too gruesome, it's not all together. That's how I receive human remains, as opposed to finding a body. But it's interesting. What if the body was dumped there? Well, this is what speculation is stating now, is that, you know, what's to say that the Tennerife police did actually search that area and the body wasn't there, and then, you know, a couple of days ago, a week ago or whatever, because what happened was they searched an area, they left it, searched a new area, and then they marked out on a map where had been searched and where hadn't, so they were searching everywhere. So who's to say that maybe something happened in that time? I can't speculate, of course, because it's quite dangerous to start doing that, and it's not fair on the family either, because they are, you know, well, let's just hope that this is the closure that they've been looking for. Right, let's see what this one says.
Okay, guys, so the body that is believed to be Jay Slater has been found in the Masca area, close to where his phone last pinged. Now, according to Spanish police, the body was found in an inaccessible area, and the man is believed to have fallen down a chasm or a drop in the island, and that is what made it so difficult to find the body. Now, that area in particular is full of drops and has thick vegetation. Now, it is believed to be Jay. They say all indications point to the fact that it is the body of the 19-year-old who was missing from his holiday with friends in Tenerife. They say that alongside Jay's body has been found the clothing he was wearing, as well as his mobile telephone. It's believed the search team from the Netherlands was there this morning, ready to go on a search, but had not yet been provided with maps by the Civil Guard. But some of the Civil Guard were out on the mountains at the same time searching, and it's believed this morning they found the remains, and Jay's family were informed at the police station around about 11 o'clock this morning. Spanish police released a statement that says the Civil Guard Mountain Rescue and Intervention Unit has found, after 29 days of non-stop searching, the body of a young man in the Masca area. Given the difficulties of the case, and the discovery has been possible thanks to the constant and discreet search carried out by the Civil Guard for the last 29 days. All the evidence suggests, with full identification still pending, that this is the young British man who disappeared on June the 17th. And they go on to say initial evidence shows that he could have suffered an accident or fall in the inaccessible area where he was found. Like, my thoughts and prayers are with Jay's family this morning. I know they were hoping for answers, but this is not the answers that they would ever have hoped for.
No, but I do hope that, you know, off of this, that, you know, an autopsy can be done and something can come of it, hopefully, to kind of, you know, almost give answers to the family, an understanding of what's going on. So we're going to take a look at Sky News now. We're going to see what they have got to say on the situation, because again, this is a live article post that is currently running. So let's take a little look at what Sky News
the Prince
say.
and Princess of Wales have paid tribute to England.
No, that's not what I'm after. So 3 minutes ago, Postmortem could take a number of hours. Wow, so they are really kind of rushing this postmortem through. So a postmortem could take a number of hours, a former Metropolitan Police Detective Chief Inspector has said. Speaking to Sky News, Peter Kirkham said the initial results might not be made available to police immediately, but any conclusions that can be made from the examination will be handed over. I suspect that the case that police will be expecting to know what became of Jay pretty much within a few hours of the post-mortem starting, he explained. A body was found in the search for Jay Slater earlier today, while formal identification is yet to take place, authorities believe it is the missing 19-year-old. Earlier, missing persons organisation LBT Global said that the post-mortem would be carried out alongside other forensic inquiries to determine the cause of death. So, obviously that is the latest that we've got so far. So we know for a fact that the post-mortem could actually... we could get results from that post-mortem a lot quicker than was anticipated. Someone died and you're milking it for views. Absolutely not. Instead, I am trying to, let people know about what has happened. But if you want to take it that way, you do you. You didn't have to click on it and view it, I guess. Autocorrect changed the woman name from case Nicola Bully. It took ages to find her body, and the area was smaller than that of where Jay went missing. Yes, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. So, let's take a little look live right now at what is being said on Sky News.
Red card. All those penalty misses. One of them in 1996 by a 21-year-old defender called Gareth Southgate.
Whether he stays, whether he leaves, he's had a lot of criticism, but you look at
what's happened to them, so the family are going through a dreadful, dreadful time.
And made more tricky by the fact that it is abroad.
Yes, it adds some complications. Working with different countries, they have different processes in place and different ways of working. Obviously, there's a language barrier as well, but the basic principles are still the same. You gather the information, you understand the person and the circumstances in which they went missing, and then make an evaluation to determine where you're going to investigate or search. And I must say, in this particular case, it looked as though he had wandered off, and this was the sort of fall outcome that we sort of expected, and that's been proven to be the case. And so it's, as has been said before in the programme, it's important to identify what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and keep your focus, but at the same time look at all the other possibilities that may have happened, and they have to be evaluated in the background and graded and assessed.
The fact that he was 19, I mean, he's just a teenager, you know, an apprentice bricklayer, an adult, that changes things, doesn't it? If he'd been a few years younger, the search would have perhaps been of different magnitude, do you think?
Well, it shouldn't really make a difference, because what's
in the world that we live in
is to evaluate the information and make an assessment of the risk and the immediacy and the urgency. Clearly, this was out of character behaviour for Jay. It was strange that he wandered off the way he did, but you know, it's not hard to see that he was a high-risk missing person, and it deserved a high-level response. And it's been very much in the public's mind, in the media, and the police have been working hard at it, as far as we can see from the media reports. And so, yes, he did get a high level of response, and that's what it deserved.
See, that's obviously an interesting take there. So we're going to go over to X now, because Mark William Thomas, let me just pull it up. Bear with me. I just had it here. Where is it? Bear with me. Sorry, everyone. Here we go. Let me just pull this up quickly. Here we go. So, this was one of the last updates that we got from Mark William Thomas. This was on the 12th of July, one of the last video updates that we got from him. So let's have a little listen to this quickly.
This coming Monday will mark 4 weeks since Jay Slater went missing in Tenerife. Firstly, thank you to all of you who have made contact with information, either via email or direct messaging on social media. All of those messages have been read and noted. Overwhelmingly, people have wanted to share their own theories or tell us about something they've seen on social media or read online. I can assure you that we are monitoring the social media platforms and Facebook groups, so there is no need to contact us regarding anything you've read or seen online. Amongst these many contacts, we have received valuable information that we've been able to turn into useful intelligence and evidence. I would urge again an appeal for anybody who had contact with Jay in the last 48 hours before his disappearance to please get in contact. We've now had the opportunity to speak with or obtain information from nearly all the people that we know in the hours and days leading up to his disappearance. However, there are still a few we've not yet spoken to, and I would urge them to get in contact so that they can be ruled out of the investigation. Of those people we have spoken to, we are aware that not everything they have told us will be the truth. There are a number of reasons for this, including their own involvement in criminal activity. However, it must also be said that some of Jay's closest friends have fully engaged with us and discussed things that could cause them to be unfairly judged by the public. On the morning of the 17th of June, on arrival back to the rental, Jay spoke to a number of different people on his phone, and they would describe him as very much awake and still buzzing. As a result of information we've received, we now know that Jay took certain actions whilst at the rental because he was clearly worried about his own safety, and this was shortly before he decided to leave. In the last few days, I've received a significant new piece of information which I've shared with both the British and Spanish police. This provides some clarity as to why he may have left in a hurry and did not want to return to the rental even though his phone was about to go flat.
Now, this obviously is very interesting and very pivotal to the case in its entirety, because the question is of course, you know, he had an opportunity to stay somewhere comfortable and wait for a bus to charge his phone, to get some rest, you know, recover from an assumed hangover or a come down from something. But he chose not to, and he was very quick to leave the Airbnb and to get out of there by whatever means. So let's have a look at what the chat's saying. I don't use TikTok or Twitter, so come to these YouTube vids to see what's going on. So yeah, that's exactly what I want to try and do. I'm like, you know, trying to keep you guys informed on the entire situation. Well, in its entirety, really. Let's have a look. He was yes. So this man that we're looking at now was in fact included within the Madeleine McCann case, and I believe that's how he kind of got his, well, how he got to become so well known in this case. If you want to see what MWT is like, watch his investigation videos on Michelle Mone and PPE scandal on his work on Jill Dando and the McCanns. I'm assuming it's not good. And that woman that drowned in the river, I don't remember her name, Nicola Bulley. Yeah, Nicola Bulley was the one that ended up passing away, sadly, in that river. He'll make a video where he sat in front of a desk with lamps, sifting through a load of paperwork. He's a fraud. Ooh. Well, I mean, to be fair, he's done a good job so far from what I've seen regarding this case. But, I mean, I guess the jury's out on it right now.
I know the internet is awash with theories. Some are massively wild speculation, others have elements of the truth, but overwhelmingly many are just made up. We are uniquely placed, having spoken to nearly all the key witnesses, to cross-check their accounts and evidence, thus building the clearest picture. We know that Jay was on his phone and alone at 08:50 on Monday the 17th of June, walking on a track just off the main road, about 30 minutes walk from the apartment. It was a cold, damp morning, only 18 degrees, with a high of that day only reaching 20. The evidence we've been able to collect, including the significant new intelligence, strongly supports that Jay is therefore most likely to be in or around the mountains. We suspect some distance from the last phone location drop. Even after extensive searching done by highly experienced personnel, the rugged and dangerous areas, it's just not possible to rule out that he isn't still there. We've still not found evidence of a third-party criminal involvement in Jay's disappearance, although we have opened up links with dangerous criminal underworld of drugs and associated crime. We have a number of outstanding actions that still require completing and remain open-minded with our investigation. I would like to appeal again for any parties involved in their own searches to share their data with us so we can compile an accurate map showing the areas that still need searching. Our thoughts remain with Jay's family and friends.
Right, and there is obviously the helpline there, but looking back through his Twitter, the most recent post, let's just refresh this to make sure we have got the most recent posts going on here. Yep, so urgent Jay Slater statement on behalf of the family. This took place 26 minutes ago. Urgent press release, Jay Slater breaking for immediate release. LBT Global is saddened to announce that the body was found in Tennerife does look to be that of Jay Slater. It is understood that the body was found close to the site of his mobile phone's last location, although formal identification is yet to be carried out. The body was found with Mr. Slater's possessions and clothes. A post-mortem and forensics inquiries will follow. LBT Global are supporting the family at this distressing time and ask for everyone to afford them some space and privacy to come to terms with this news. Ends. So, wow. I mean, that in itself is just absolutely saddening, isn't it? It truly is absolutely saddening that this is what it's come to, unfortunately. Jay was from Lancashire. Those temperatures are hot. Yeah. Depending on if his body is more remains than body, can forensics still tell if he fell, was pushed, died in that spot or elsewhere, and was moved there? Well, this is the question, of course. It was labelled as remains were found, not a body was found, so I guess the jury's still out on that one. More likely to be Ziggy. They can tell from fractures or breaks to the bones, knife cuts, etc. I didn't see anyone being rude. If it's Dan, he's spot on. The conservative comment about dead diffuse. Oh, okay. Right, let's have a little look at if there's anything new that has happened regarding this situation. So, where are we? Don't need this. Here we go. Okay, where am I here? Down here. Let's have a little look here. Let's see what's been said. Doesn't look like there's anything brand new that's going on. 13 minutes ago was when the last update came out from the Independent. I wonder what that's saying now. Is there a timeline? 12 minutes ago, Jay Slater was last seen walking away from a remote village. Mr. Slater was last seen walking away fast from the remote village of Buena Vista del Norte after travelling there with two people that he had met from a musical festival around 27 miles further south on the island on the 17th of June. The apprentice bricklayer from Lancashire was last seen by a cafe owner who said that the teenager had asked about the bus times before deciding not to wait 2 hours for a service. The cafe owner said that Mr. Slater walked out of the village and his phone was last detected in the rural Deteno National Park. He had earlier called friends to say that he was lost and had 1% battery left on his phone. Jay Slater was last seen walking away from the remote village on June 17th. Okay, so we don't really know too much about this right now. So let's see what if there's anything else anyone else is reporting on so far to see what the latest is. If anyone that's just jumped into the stream or anything like that, it's the cafe owner was also the owner of the B&B where the two guys were staying. Oh, So that's obviously the whole booking of the Airbnb was suspicious as well, because they booked it under a false alias and under a different name. So yeah, that was weird. Like, you know, why did they book it under a different name? What was the reason for that? Why did that happen? Just continuing to look through to see if there's any updates on any platforms. Right now, it doesn't look like it. It looks like we're just, I suppose, waiting for the postmortem to come through, which apparently could take up to a couple of hours. Well, that's to reach the family, and then I'm sure it will probably reach the world press later on. So from the Sun, apparently, what's this? This is the latest from the Sun, with this one coming out a little over 20 minutes ago. So, Jay Slater, cops refused to reveal the exact location of the body found with belongings and clothes near to where the phone last pinged. That's probably less to do with conspiracy that, you know, the cops are in on it. That's probably more because that place is currently a crime scene investigation zone, so they probably don't want anything contaminating that area. They want to preserve it as best they can so they can determine what exactly happened. So, Spanish cops have refused to reveal the exact location of a body believed to be the missing teenager Jay Slater in Tennerife. The body was tragically found on Monday in the hunt for a missing 19-year-old after the grueling 4-week search. Apprentice bricklayer Jay vanished on the morning of June 17th after going to a rave. Spanish cops axed the official search less than 2 weeks in, but a body believed to be Jay's was found today in the area where he was last known to be, Masca. Cops fear that the 19-year-old may have accidentally fallen to his death while walking in a remote area of Tennerife. It is understood that the body was found close to where his mobile phone was last pinged, with Jay's belongings and clothes, but Spanish cops have refused to reveal the exact location where the body was found. An autopsy is expected to take place in the next couple of days in the northern Tenerife city of La Laguna. A civil guard spokesman said the human remains were found some 2 hours before we went public with the information. They had been found so around 10 a.m. local time, and then it's believed around 11 a.m. the family were told. The large-scale operation involving multiple units had been suspended, but as we always said, we never stopped looking for Jay. The mountain rescue group continued looking for the missing man when they were on duty and have now found the remains of a person they believe is him. Asked whether the force was in a position to say exactly where the human remains had been found, he said, "In the area near Masca is all I can say at the moment." He added, "We always said that the terrain is a very difficult terrain and the search was complicated. Jay's distraught family have been updated on the formal investigation by police is set to follow." British overseas missing persons charity LBT Global basically broke the news, stating everything that we have covered so far. So that's kind of where we are at. They are into drug things, probably just laying low. Who's that? Is that the people that rented out the Airbnb? I thought they were there for 2 days. Yeah. So the Dutch search and rescue team were there for 2 days. I think they were the ones that actually found the body, but the obviously the Tenerife police, it took it's taken 29 days since he went missing. Thanks, Lisa. I thought you were swearing. Oh yeah, what does SFI mean? I was curious about what SFI meant. Apparently, it sound funny and intelligent. I'll take that. All day long. That I sound funny and intelligent. I'm trying to just get caught up on the latest, so you guys are also caught up on the latest. Again, I want to know what it means for remains to be found as opposed to a body being found, because I think the terminology here is incredibly important to kind of take effective. No, he's talking about the guys from the Airbnb. Yes, that's right. So the Airbnb. into drug stuff, so they're probably trying to avoid, any form of controversy, but it's just made it look a lot more suspicious. What else we got? Yeah, so I think we're kind of... Well, I guess the question is now, when is the response from the autopsy gonna come through? Because obviously people have said that it could take a couple of hours, but I'm sure it will probably be a couple of days before it hits our ears. The family will probably be briefed first, rightfully so, they deserve to be. Probably will want to come to terms with it, and probably will want to plan out next steps ahead of the public finding out, because if the public finds out first, there's going to be no privacy, there's going to be no peace for this poor family who have just had this, well, potentially tragic news. I mean, there is still a glimmer of hope that he could be alive, because the body hasn't been confirmed yet. But again, if this isn't Jay, it's still incredibly sad to think that another person has been found, unfortunately dead. And I guess the question comes of whose body is it? Is it linked in any way? Why is that body there when police have searched that area already and not found anything? So, where did this body come from, kind of thing? He must have known so far along that there was no houses or people there, should turn back. Well, that's the thing, Sue, but obviously Mark William Thomas has put out a statement saying that he's got critical information that he's passed along to police to help with the investigation, that apparently there was a good reason as to why he really did not want to go back to that house. Now, we don't know what that reason is. That hasn't been handed over. What a sad ending to this story. I know, I really did hold out hope that Jay would be found. I really hoped that there would be something where, he was, for whatever reason, even if he was found and it was an accident, but he was still alive, that's what I think that's what we all were hoping for. But it really is. He was running scared, yeah, and we don't know what the reason for him running scared was. Of course, people want to know, and there might be information to come out over the next few days that might support, well, what's been going on. M. Orsland said they haven't searched it like the now before. The terrain and ravines is really hard to get, and the bush and cacti are horrible. Yeah, I believe that. I absolutely do believe that. The watch, yeah. Could it be the watch was the reason? So obviously, if you're not caught up in the loop, moments before Jay Slater went missing, he sent a message over Snapchat, or he posted a Snapchat to his story, stating that he had basically stolen a very expensive watch. It was believed to be a £12,000 Rolex. That has since been brought into question whether that was the case, but we just still don't really know. We still don't really know about anything. I think right now I've got you as up to speed as I possibly can. Yes, it was the morning. How could he have been coming down off the drug? He would have been coming down off the drugs. Well, that's if he did take drugs. Obviously, we don't know that for certain. But, assuming he was at a rave, there would have been some level of hangover going on that would have, hindered that morning. Because I'm sure we've all suffered from a hangover at least once in our lives. We know it is absolutely debilitating when you get a bad hangover. It's not often common sense that takes charge when decision making when you're intoxicated and or in fear. Yeah, Manda Maggie, you are absolutely spot on there. And therefore they couldn't see with the drones. Yeah, that's true, because he might have been covered by something. There's so many possibilities right now. There's so many ifs, possibilities, buts. There's so many opportunities for, we don't have the facts, so we're going to start filling in the gaps, and that's what we really need to try and avoid doing right now. We need to avoid filling in those gaps. We need to avoid speculation, because it's just not fair on the family, is it? We need to go off the facts that we are given by police, by reputable sources, and just make sure that we do our best to avoid that, and if we see it, basically shut it down, because again, it's just not fair on the family. He might have been paranoid because of the drugs, partying for 3 days. Possibly. There is a possibility of that, of course. Right, so let's have a look. So Sky News have posted a TikTok 16 minutes ago, so this could be a bit more up-to-date, informed. Let's have a little listen. Oh, hang on.
Who has been missing since last June the 17th.
Sorry guys, I didn't realise that I hadn't flicked the thingy over. Sorry,
You
there
were
we
just
go.
getting a statement from the Spanish police. Let me read it to you in full. The Mountain Rescue and Intervention Group of the Civil Guard has located the lifeless body of a young man in the Masca area after 29 days of constant search. Given the complexity of the case, the discovery has been possible thanks to the incessant and discreet search carried out by the Civil Guard during these 29 days, in which the natural space was preserved so that it would not be filled with curious onlookers. All indications indicate that it could be the young British man who has been missing since last June the 17th, in the absence of full identification. The first investigations reveal that he could have suffered an accident or fall in the inaccessible area where he was found. And Shiggy, this is not obviously yet confirmed to be Jay Slater, but if it proves to be, this is the worst possible news for his family, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Jane. His family never gave up hope. They stayed in Tenerife throughout this month and a bit in which the search went on, and they themselves tried to chip in with the search effort. I spoke to his dad, Warren, on a number of occasions as he went to the area, as he tried to retrace Jay's steps. And he was devastated. He was extremely upset about what had happened. And what we have now is potentially the news that they really didn't want to hear. It's yet to be confirmed, I must stress that. But it will have taken a toll on his family. His mum, Debbie, has also frequently posted on social media, responded to people who were part of a crowdfunding effort to help them stay out there in Tenerife. So this is the worst possible news for Jade's family. And I think another thing there in that statement that's worth mentioning, the police saying that this person that they've discovered may have come to some form of accident and been harmed in a form of accident and had a fall. The landscape, as I have said at many points, is extremely rugged. It's extremely rural. It's difficult to get to on foot. It's a one-track road up there to get there in the car. So that again suggests that difficult landscape made it really hard for a person trying to get back down. No one, this has not yet been confirmed as Jay Slater, but I think this will be the worst possible news for his family, a reminder of just how difficult and arid and rugged that landscape was, which is why the search has taken so long and it's been so painstaking.
You were just getting a statement from the Spanish police. Let me read it.
There you go. So, yeah, I've been, searching around while that clip was playing, and there is really no new updates regarding this entire situation. Just people posting the same kind of thing, regurgitated. Just that, the remains have been found. It was found with Jay's belongings and clothing, and that's kind of it. But let's have a little look at the comments before we do wrap up this stream. So, years ago I worked in a nightclub and there was a type of E called Rolex. I think, is that ecstasy? There was also love doves, crowns, etc. with little pictures on them. Oh, okay. So I wonder if that's in reference. See, he never actually named it as a Rolex. What he said was that he... What was it he said? He copped ice or something like that, which of course, if you know what that is, that's basically like diamonds. or like a timepiece or something like that. So I'm not sure. The mother has been offered a contact to make a movie. What? No way. Jay Slater's mother offered movie. What is this? No way. Absolutely no. This is horrific. Let's have a little look at this together quickly. So, Jay Slater's mum... Oh, go away, adverts. Right. Jay Slater's... More adverts. Go away, pop-ups. Jay Slater's mum claims family was approached about turning the teen's disappearance into a movie. That's disgusting. Debbie Duncan asked for vile conspiracy theories to end as she gave an emotional statement 4 weeks on from her son's disappearance, and with the news that the family had been approached by film crews. Let's have a little listen to this article.
Thanks for choosing to listen. We're converting your article into audio and will begin playing momentarily.
That's insane. I never knew this was a thing. Far better than listening to my monotone voice. Bear with it. Like, people just want to turn this into... Like, people want to turn this into a movie and documentary. That's disgusting. Here we go.
Jay Slater's mum claims family approached about making a movie on missing son.
Okay.
Jay Slater's mum said the family had been inundated with requests for interviews, documentaries, and even as far as a movie, as she condemned the vile conspiracy theories about her loving son. Asking people to refer any film inquiries to LBT Global, a body aimed at helping families through missing persons cases, Debbie Duncan thanked the public for their continued support and well wishes. She also thanked LBT Global, the British Embassy, and the police. It comes as the family of the missing British teen have released an emotional new statement to mark 1 month since he went missing in Tenerife. A search and rescue operation was triggered by Spanish police after Jay, 19, from Lancashire went missing on June 17 in the remote northwest of the island, and his family quickly travelled out to help find him. Jay partied at a nightclub in the south of Tenerife before leaving with 2 men and staying with them at an Airbnb in Masca. He left the accommodation and after missing a bus told a friend that he was going to try and walk back to where he had been staying in the south, a trek that would take about 11 hours before his phone battery died. Nothing has been seen or heard of him since. On Sunday afternoon, Jay's mum Debbie Duncan released a new statement on the search for his missing son. She said, "As we approach 4 weeks of our beautiful Jay's disappearance, we cannot put into words the heartache we are suffering as a family. Jay is a typical young man who loves life with a bright future ahead of him. This month will mark the end of his 3-year apprenticeship with the world at his feet. He is loved by everyone and has a close bond with his family and many, many friends. As a family, we would like to thank the public for their continued support and well wishes. We would also like to thank LBT Global, the British Embassy, and the police, who are doing all they can to support us." As he continued, "We would also like to say that we are aware of the awful comments and conspiracy theories that are filling social media. These theories are hindering the people trying to help us in their investigations here in Tenerife and are vile to see as a family. He is a loving son, brother, grandson, nephew, cousin and friend to so many. He is such a popular boy, and this is very distressing for us all to read. Matthew Searle, chief executive of LBT Global, said horrific things are even being sent directly to family and friends."
Oh my god.
He added, "It's important to consider how the family will feel when horrific things are being posted online.
Absolutely.
What is important is to locate Jay, and the constant barrage of conspiracy theories and wild speculation simply delays that happening. It must end. The family appeals to anyone who holds any vital information to please contact LBT Global via delta.ops@lbt.global or anonymously at Crime Stoppers."
Struggling to get the
Absolutely.
morning started?
Oh no, I don't want ads. Get in the bin.
Like someone's in
No,
need of Costa.
stop.
So here's a deal
Ah!
that can really get you going. Costa.
Right, that's horrific. That is truly disgusting behaviour. The fact that this family hasn't even had, by this point, this was yesterday that she said this, a confirmation that, you know, her son had passed away. Not even that deep into it. You know, and people are reaching out, asking her to make movies and documentaries about this. Have some class and decorum. Do you know what I mean? Like, big, decent human beings. This is what upsets me about, like, Netflix, Amazon. They just see this kind of thing and they just think, oh, this would make a good documentary. Let's get permission from the family and start shooting. Whilst the person is still missing. You know, not even confirmed to be dead or alive yet. This is horrific. I can't even. Guys, that is my rant over for this. I hope that you guys are, you know, as in the loop. Just before you guys clock off, let's just Jay Slater. Let's see if there's any final updates before we go. It doesn't look like it. It looks like we know everything that there is to know about the situation. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. If you have not already, drop a like if you have found this video informative. Subscribe if you are new to be kept up to date on everything, well, pop culture, news and all the rest of it. Subscribe, tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we go live or drop a video. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have found this informative. Take care of yourselves. I hope that you're all well, and I'll catch you in a bit.